Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back on the Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at a figure I've been very much looking forward to ever since they announced, and I'm sure pretty much every Black Series collector is in the same boat. It is the new Mandalorian figure from the Book of Boba Fett, the Glavis Ringworld Mandalorian, when he's on that really weird but kind of cool ring world. And yeah, we've been all, a lot of Mandos have been released in Black Series over the years, and you might be asking, what's one more Mando? Well, if you've been keeping up with it, you do know that this figure is pretty much entirely new, sculpt head to toe, and this character's really needed it in the Black Series. The original Beskar Black Series Mando, which they've been putting out for ever since 2020. Even when it came out, there were just issues with it. And I'll do a comparison between the two, but that figure's had wonky proportions, a bad, not bad, but not a good looking helmet sculpt, not very accurate looking. Uh, some other issues I'll talk about, but this figure comes in and pretty much fixes all the issues I had with that figure, which is great. But taking a closer look, I guess first off, the paint used is really nice for the armor. It's a nice, bright, shiny silver, something that the old figure had a really big issue with. That figure had a very dull silver that I didn't like very much. This one looks a lot better. I like this a lot. I think it looks a lot more accurate to the show, which is great. Another big upgrade is the helmet sculpt. I think they got a lot closer to how it looks in the show. I don't know if it's still 100%, but it's pretty damn close. It's way better, and I think it's my favorite helmet sculpt that I've seen on a 6-inch scale figure so far. I have, obviously, the old Black Series. I also have the first two SH Figure Arts Beskar Mandos they put out, and those ones are pretty good, I won't lie, but I think this one's definitely much better. I think it's proportioned properly, it's shaped better, it just looks a lot better. Unfortunately, mine does have this little black splotch of paint from the visor, but aside from that, it's pretty good. Another nice new upgrade is he has a soft goods cape. It's made of a pretty nice material, and the old Black Series one had this terrible plastic cape that just was awful with posing, made it hard. You had to remove it to display him with the jetpack, and now this one you can just move it out of the way. It allows for all the different posing. I like that they put some holes and tears on the edges. That looks great as well. Yeah, that looks good. I like it a lot. The shoulder pads I think are a bit bulkier, and they made his shoulders just in general a bit more broader. And I think that looks good. Makes it more look like he's wearing bulky armor, which is great. Same thing with the torso. The chest piece has been largened up quite a bit to make it better proportioned. And the van braces look good. Nothing too crazy going on there. He's got some nice paint apps on the bandolier and the belt. I will say there still is some paint apps missing. There still could be a fair amount of silver on the stuff going on here, as well as red for where these detonators are. They're supposed to be red in there. They're just silver. It would have been nice to get those painted properly. But you got the holster, you got the blue little plates of armor there around the waist, the legs. You got the new style plate armor there, the knee guard, and then the boots. The paint for these different cylinders wrapped around his leg looks pretty good. I am seeing quite the paint error here. I just scrapes off, so I guess that's not big of a deal. But yeah, he just looks way better. This is, I think, so far the best looking 6-inch scale Mando you can get. I do have the new Mafex Beskar Mando coming in the, well, I have it pre-ordered. It's supposed to come out end of this month, early next month. So I am curious to see how that figure stacks up with this one. But it's going to be hard to beat this one, honestly, at least from a looks perspective. Articulation-wise, though, it's no slouch either. Got a dumbbell joint at the base head as well as the base of the neck. He looks up a fair amount. Looks down a lot, actually. Pivots quite well, and rotation, of course. The shoulder, shoulder plates are with the O-ring, like the Stormtrooper shoulder pads and all that, so they rotate with the shoulder, and then they go out, and you have no issues there. There's a butterfly joint that is actually pretty half decent, at least for Black Series standards. It does actually give you an okay range of motion there. Single hinges at the elbows that move a little bit past 90. There is swivel cuts at the van braces, and then at the left wrist there's a swivel in and out hinge, and then the This one, the trigger hand has the up and down hinge, which is good. Torso joint goes back a bit, crunches forward a little bit, nothing too crazy. You do have to kind of be careful this piece underneath the overlay to kind of shift that back into place. It's a little bit of pivot in the torso, a little rotation. That is going to be hindered a bit because of the bandolier, but it's not too bad. Hip joint, kick out pretty far, pretty good split. And then swivels at the thigh, single hinge at the knee, and then hinges at the ankles that go up a fair amount, down a lot, and ankle rocker per pivot. So he's got a lot of great articulation. It's all single hinges for seamlessness. So it looks pretty good, and it is very functional. You can get a lot of the poses that you're going to want to get out of this guy. In terms of accessories, comes with a decent amount of accessories. I think the figure could maybe came with a little more, but it's not too bad. You do get his jetpack. It is painted in a much nicer silver paint, the same as the armor. The old Beskar one is literally just a flat gray. It wasn't even any sort of like silver. It was just a flat gray and it looked really bad. This one's nice and silver. It looks good. I don't know if it's a new Sculpt or not. I didn't get the old jetpack out of the check, but this could be reused, just repainted. It does have slots for effect parts. I feel like the old one didn't have that, so I think this is new. But like I said, I could be wrong. On the back here, he does have the 2 slots in the hole for the jetpack. So it just slots in very securely. And then I'm not going to go too crazy, wasting time fumbling around with the cape. But you can, fool around with the cape. It gets out of the way because it is soft goods. So that is nice. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Another interesting feature, he does not come with the rifle, but there actually is still a slot to store the rifle. So if you have one of the old Mando figures that came with the rifle with the big peg, you can actually slot that into the back and you can store the rifle on his back. So that's kind of a nice little feature. They definitely didn't have to do that because I don't think he ever uses the rifle in season 3 or in Book of. He definitely doesn't use the rifle in Book of Boba Fett, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't use it in season 3 either. But it is something you can do if you want to do it. So that's nice. Of course, you got to have his pistol. It's got a nice gunmetal color with some brown for the handle. It is actually a new sculpt. I thought they'd definitely reuse the pistol from the previous Mandos, but it's actually a new sculpt. If you take, let me get the old pistol real quick. If you take a look at them, if I can, definitely see there's some sculpt differences. The biggest tell is in the handles here. The new one has like this wooden grain, wood texture to it, and the old one does not at all. So yeah, some subtle differences, but the new one definitely has some sharper detailing and some cooler detailing. So that's very cool that they did that, because they didn't really have to. If they just reused the old pistol, I don't think I would have complained. But you can hold it in the trigger hand just fine. Looks good. And you can also slot it into the holster nice and securely. New holster sculpt. They didn't bother doing the strap that pegs in because half the time those things don't work well at this scale anyways, so that's fine. And it looks good. It's even a little less bulkier than the old holsters, so I think it looks a lot better. He also comes with his little tiny vibro blade, which is nice, and it's painted silver for the blade and gunmetal for the handle, so that's kind of nice. They actually put some paint into it. I might be the only Black Series Mando that comes with this. I don't know if they ever released this accessory with him before or not. Maybe with that deluxe version where he was all muddy and all that, they might have included that with this. I don't know. I don't have that figure. But this could be the first time he's come with this. Unfortunately, the knife is really small, and his hands both have much wider grips. So it's pretty tough getting him to hold the vibro blade. It's doable. Like I have him holding it right now. And it's not just falling out right off the bat, but you gotta fumble around with the bit and kind of twist it around a little bit to get it to him to hold it. But it is cool they include it, and luckily you can actually store it as he does in the show. He has a little slot. It's hard to see. He does have a slot in his boot there, and you can just slot the power blade there, and that stores in nice and tightly, no problem. And then lastly, for accessories, he does come with the Darksaber. Of course, he had it during Book of Boba Fett. The blade, I do imagine, is reused from the many times we've gotten the Darksaber and the Black Series now at this point. The hilt, though, is actually a new piece because it does have this little loop on the bottom. None of the other Darksabers have that. So you can remove the blade. And he actually does have a hook on the back of his belt there to hook the Darksaber. So you can actually store the hilt on the figure, which I think is pretty cool. But if you want to, and how I probably will end up displaying him, is that he can obviously hold it. And he holds it pretty well in his hand. And you can get good two dual hands on the hilt, no problem. Would have liked to see him come with the Beskar spear. He did have it for a short time in Book of Boba Fett. He only wore it on his back, and then he ended up getting it melted down. But it would have been cool for them to include it, I think. Other than that, though, I think he pretty much comes with what he needs to come with. So I'm pretty happy with the accessory spread. But in terms of comparison, this is our new Black Series Beskar Mando. And here he is with the old Beskar Mando from season 1. And I mean, you can just tell it is night and day. I don't think the old one is a bad figure still, but the new one is just an upgrade in every way. I think the colors are a lot better. The paint, especially on the armor, is a lot better. The helmet sculpt is leagues better. Like I said, the new one has the soft goods cape, which is so much better than this crappy plastic cape they kept using for these Mando figures. I didn't hate it on the very first one, but after that, it's just, yeah, this plastic cape just sucks. Yeah, you get the holster with the strap. It didn't work too good. So yeah, 100% mega upgrade here. Very happy with this new one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the old one. I don't know if I'll sell it or keep it or what I'll do. I'm keeping it for now anyways, but I don't know what I will do with him. Maybe make him use him for a custom, who knows. And then here he is with one of the figure arts. This is the season 1 SH figure arts Mando. The season 1, season 2 are pretty similar aesthetically. And yeah, I mean, I think the figure arts one's still good. I would argue the figure arts one has a slightly better paint job, a bit of a better silver metallic finish. And it comes with more accessories, of course, but it's a little more fiddly in some aspects. I think the helmet is definitely better on the new Black Series Mando. But I'll let you be the judge. But yeah, overall, I'm very much needed improvement, and I think a very successful improvement on the Mandalorian as a character from the previous figures he's gotten in Black Series. I'm really happy with this figure. I think it turned out really, really well. I imagine he'll be on my top 10 Black Series of 2024, and 2024 has only just started, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, if you're a fan of the Mandalorian, I think this is a must-have. You gotta have this, and it's great that they didn't make him a deluxe, so he's at the standard retail price, and he's in a mainline wave, so he shouldn't be super hard to get, hopefully. And yeah, he's great, and definitely recommend picking him up. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.